Welcome to my podcast, Tales of Legends, where we explore fascinating stories from the past. I'm your host Avinash, and today we embark on an incredible journey into the life of Siddhartha Gautama, the legendary figure who would later be known as the Buddha. Once upon a time, in ancient northern India, there were no big kings or queens ruling over the whole land. It was like a big puzzle with lots of different pieces. Some parts of the land were ruled by kings and queens, and some were not. The places with kings and queens were called kingdoms, and there were 16 of them. The other places, like Shakya, didn't have kings or queens. They were ruled in a different way. In one such place, called Shakya, there were many families, and they took turns being in charge. The leader of each family was called Raja. In Shakya, there was a family led by a man called Shuddhodana. At the time when something very special was about to happen, he was the Raja of Shakya. Now let's talk about the birth of a very important person named Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha's family lived in a city called Kapilavastu. Siddhartha's great-grandfather was named Jayasena, and Jayasena had a kind and gentle son named Sinahu. And Sinahu had 5 sons and 2 daughters. Shuddhodana, one of Sinahu's sons, was married to Mahamaya. She was a lovely lady from a nearby village. Shuddhodana was a very strong and well man, who owned a lot of land and even had 1,000 plows to work the land. One special day, Mahamaya decided to celebrate a festival with lots of joy, flowers and nice things to eat. She even gave a big donation to those in need. After all the festivities, she went to sleep in a beautiful room. That night, something magical happened. In a dream, she was carried by 4 world guardians to the Himalayas, where they placed her under a great tree and then took her to a lovely lake. There, they bathed her, dressed her in beautiful clothes, and adorned her with flowers. A wise man named Sumedha appeared and asked her if she would be his mother. She happily agreed, and then she woke up. Mahamaya told this dream to Shuddhodana, but they didn't understand it. So they invited 8 wise sages who were experts in dreams to help explain it. The sages said that Mahamaya would have a son. If he lived a normal life, he would become a great king. But if he left his home and became a wandering monk, he would become a Buddha, a special wise teacher. As the time for the baby to be born got closer, Mahamaya wanted to go to her parents' home in for the delivery. Shuddhodana agreed and sent her with a grand procession. On her way, she passed through a beautiful grove called Lumbini, filled with colorful trees, fruits, and singing birds. She felt like stopping to enjoy it. So she got out of her palanquin, stood by a great big tree, and as she held onto one of its branches, she suddenly felt the baby coming. Right there, under that tree, Siddhartha Gautama was born on a special day. Everyone celebrated the special birth with joy and happiness. Siddhartha was the son of Shuddhodana and Mahamaya, and he was going to grow up to become a very important person. That's the beginning of our story about him. That's it for today's episode. Stay tuned for the next part of this captivating story. Until then, take good care of yourself, your family, and friends. Goodbye, and remember, the legend continues.